All right, we're back to the first annual Path to Indemnity conference. Please tell people who you are, what you do, and how long you've been doing it.
I'm Chris Lackey. I'm a public adjuster. I do appraisals, public adjusting. I've been doing it 8 years, and I came to this industry from the construction.
So you've been doing public adjusting for 8 years, and your reputation definitely precedes itself because I know who you are. This is our first time meeting in person, but
Yes, sir.
I've heard your name. What do you know now that you wish you knew when you first started?
Everything.
Can you be more specific? Anything?
Well, when I didn't come from the insurance carrier side, so when I became a public adjuster, I knew nothing about insurance. I did get an IA license, so I had a little indoctrination. But today, what I know now is things are harder for public adjusters. They're harder for everybody. They're harder for insureds. This industry's constantly changing and evolving, and honestly, learning the industry was easier 8 years ago. Now it's a pretty tough industry.
So what do you mean? So, because I know a lot of people, because I wasn't public adjusting 8 years ago, but I was in the insurance industry. But for what I heard, on the PA side, a lot of people used to be a lot more close to the chest with their knowledge. But it seems like for you, 8 years ago, the knowledge was it? Are you saying it was easier to come by?
No, I was fortunate enough to come into the industry working for a knowledgeable person that was on the IA side for 12 years, and then when he became a PA, he called me one day and said, "Hey, I jumped ship. Come join me. Go get your PA license." So I did, but even then, information wasn't free flowing from other public adjusters like it is with like this group today that what we're here for. There's most of the people I met here are people they care about the industry, they care about other public adjusters, sharing information, sharing knowledge, willing to help at the drop of a phone call. And that's what I see now. I see that changing more and more. We used to not have that, and in some circles you still don't have that. Not this circle.
So it seems like you had somebody that was very knowledgeable and that you must have trusted to, at the drop of a hat, switch careers, but you were only getting one perspective as opposed to nowadays multiple.
Right. Which honestly, I see that as a blessing. Not having the IA knowledge can be a blessing and a curse. The blessing side of it is I never was indoctrinated to this is what we do and this is the only reason we do it, and you have to follow these guidelines, where I never had that. So for me, it's simpler because I'm able to literally go by the four corners of the policy and understand, which that term was used here today. So,
The four corners of the policy?
yes.
Oh yeah, I think they say RTFP. Read the full policy.
Yeah, the full policy. Yeah.
And then depending on how what's going on, that F might mean another word.
Yep.
Read the effing policy. Right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Absolutely. So how long were you in construction before you became a public adjuster?
I've been doing construction 40 years. I've wore a lot of hats over the years. That's just been part of my life.
Have you found that to be, because I know you saying that the access to the IA knowledge was instrumental. Have you found your construction knowledge beforehand to be a crucial element to what you do now?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know how anybody can come in this industry and not understand how to dissect a house or a building and understand how it's built, because how are you going to put it back together? You've got to be able to estimate for taking it apart, putting it back together. And I don't see a lot of people on the carrier side that really are qualified to do that. And unfortunately, even on our side, there's not as much as need to be. for qualification there.
So let's say there is a PA. They've been a public adjuster for a while. They just came to the path to indemnity, and they've just learned that maybe I should know more about the anatomy of a building. What would you, someone in your position now, recommend the first thing that they do if they want to get that knowledge? Because a lot of PAs, all they do is outsource the estimate writing. What do you think they should do first if they've just made that discovery where maybe I would serve my clients better by knowing more about building science?
I'm sure there's schools, and I know there is, and things like that for people to gain some of that knowledge. But I think they need to get more out in the field with the contractors, find some really good contractors, and that the level of good of that is going to be whether they do residential strictly, or are they strictly a commercial contractor. All of those elements take effect. They make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But I think getting into the field, to a young PA, you need to hook up with an experienced PA that knows what they're doing, and that to me, if you know what you're doing, you don't have to outsource your estimates. And we don't outsource estimates. We write all of our own. We do all of our own scopes on estimates and different trainings and stuff to help us in the industry.
What would you say is the major benefit of writing the estimate yourself as opposed to outsourcing? Because I'm sure a lot of PAs know some great estimate writers, but what have you found to be the benefit of you writing your own estimate?
I think the biggest benefit is if let's say you're deposed or you have to go to court, which we do get deposed. I've never had to actually go to trial on one of our claims, but you got to know. You need to know the estimate. You need to know how it's written. You need to be able to sit and justify why there's a particular item in that estimate. Mm-hmm. And if you did it yourself, you understand that. Now, I'll back up and say I have people in my office that write estimates, but however, we scope those claims, they write the estimates, we review those claims, and we make sure that they're done right.
Who would you say is your preferred client?
For me, I think it's simple. My preferred client is somebody that needs help.
Wow, okay.
I don't segregate against large claims, small claims, otherwise. When somebody asks for help, I help them. Mm-hmm. And our office, I teach our office people, that's what we do. There's people that need help that they honestly can't afford our services. Do we turn them away? Not a chance. Mm-hmm. We help them. We make sure they get help, one way or another. My preferred client is the person that needs help.
Do you have a vetting process? Is it something to where, can somebody just call you and say, I need help, and then you're sending them over a contract? Or is there a vetting process that goes into place now that, all right, maybe you need help, but based off this and criteria, maybe you're not ready for my help, or I'm not the best person to help you?
To a degree, there's always a vetting process, and it's not anything we put in writing. We do, we'll interview the insured, what their claim is, what's going on with it. And there's times that file may not need a public adjuster, it may need an attorney. So yeah, there is a little bit of a vetting process, but to vet them as far as the claim goes for size, we don't.
Got it.
I don't. And if when we get involved, we see that the claim is too small for the distance we have to travel, we don't just turn our back on them. We make sure they get help.
Yeah.
We'll find some local public adjuster that'll help them.
Somebody who I guess based off of your interactions, you feel share a lot of your core values.
Absolutely. Yes.
So the name of this conference, of course, is Path to Indemnity. And
Yes,
this
sir.
is the last question that I'm going to ask you. Most people know what path means, right? Just in general. most people in or around our industry should know what indemnity means, to be put back to where you were, to be made whole. When you hear the phrase path to indemnity, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
A path is creating a roadmap to get the insured indemnified. And like you just said, indemnity is to put them back to the condition they were in prior to the loss they have, whether it's a hailstorm, a hurricane, a water discharge, whatever. To indemnify somebody is to put them back to a pre-loss condition.
So once again, man, tell people who you are and how they can get in touch with you if they need your advice or want to retain your services.
Sure, I'm Chris Lackey. Again, I've been a public adjuster 8 years. My phone number is 512-585-4179. I'm always available to answer questions, whether we take your claim or not. We won't turn our back if you ask us a question. We're more than happy to help.
Thank you so much, Chris Lackey, for sitting with me. I appreciate it. That was good.